Well, collectors, here we are again. I think this is unboxing number 23, and today is the 1st of February 2022, so we're moving into the dead of winter. We just got over a snowstorm here in New Jersey, and we're hoping to get a little warmer weather to melt some of it away before I fall on my butt, which I don't want to do. But before we get into the unboxing, I just want to tell you guys that one of our old buddies for many years has passed, and that's Frank Grant. I think he was from Toronto. I know he was in Canada, and probably many of you collectors knew Frank. He set up at all the shows and always had a lot to say. Frank could be a bit of a bandito, but he also had a lot of neat things and a lot of stories. And I remember, of you guys that attended all the Mac shows, if you remember the show, one of the shows back in Baltimore, Frank had a museum that he owned in Canada, and he brought down to the show in Baltimore a Kettenkrad. Those Kettenkrads are those little tiny vehicles that look like bulldozers that were used a lot by the Luftwaffe for laying cables and things like that. And I remember Frank driving that Kettenkrad right out of the back of a big truck, and he knew so much about it that it looked like he had been driving it for years, and he drove it down there, positioned it right where it should be, and it was a terrific thing for people to see, because vehicles like that are very rare. And one year in Pittsburgh, I remember Frank also brought in a fantastic wagon that was used in World War I. It was still in tremendous condition and very interesting. But old Frank and I, we go back a long time. Just as an old story, I remember back in the old OVMS days, in the 90s, OVMS was kind of in bad times then. They got thrown out of the drawbridge inn. I don't know why, but everybody said apparently the regular customers that visited that hotel didn't understand what was going on in the ballroom when they walked by, and apparently there were some complaints, and the hotel owners kind of took the low road and threw out the show. But then the show ended up in a town called Erlanger, which is not too far from the Cincinnati airport, which is actually in Kentucky. And that was sort of it was a motel with a ballroom attached, and it worked out for the time. But I remember I was feeling kind of bad, thinking that, oh boy, what are we going to do in this hobby if the OVMS shows weren't able to continue. And I was thinking, well, I've got a lot of Army daggers this show. Maybe I'll have a raffle. So I did. I set an Army dagger up in a case with hangers and porta-peas, and I sold raffle tickets. I think they were $5 at the time, and I forget how much money was raised, but an Army dagger in those days was only worth a couple $100. But I think we raised $400 or $500 for the show. And we had one of the beautiful wives of a collector there come over and make the drawing, and we shook all the names up, and she drew out the tag, and who was it but Frank Grant? and old Frank came up, and he looked at that Army dagger, and Frank was pretty tall. He was a lot bigger than I am, and I remember him leaning over and kissing me on the bald head. And we always laughed about that for years. So So we'll miss Frank at the shows. He was a real fixture, real character, and I think he was in his early 80s. So, but rest in peace, Frank. Okay, so that being said, we'll start our unboxing this time. I bought some daggers from a guy 2 days ago, and I thought I would just show you them. They're not in a box because he brought them in and I bought them, so that's different than they coming in the mail, but still, I'm sure you like to see some of the things that come in. There's nothing real earth-shaking here with this first one. It's just an army dagger. It's a nice acorn that hasn't been touched. It's got the original knot on it, which is kind of frayed. But then again, it speaks of the character of the dagger. And the grip is nice. I like the color of it and the nice age in it. And the scabbard's okay. It's got a couple spots in it that if it were cleaned would probably come out. And it's got a dynamite blade. You can see that blade is absolutely mint. Very nice. So this is a good starter piece for somebody that's not too expensive, and you can really get to see what the quality is with German daggers. And speaking of quality, let's see how the drink is. First of the day, guys. Prost to you. I made it kind of strong because I need to get a little bit excited here. Oh, made it a little bit too strong. I'll have to take it easy here or I'll be slurring my words on this one. So, and let's see what else we got here. Yeah, this is a nice, you can see it's an early dagger. It's got a 3-piece hanger on it, and it hasn't been cleaned, and it shows a little age, but it's not too bad. And it's got a gal group marking of NO, and you might be able to see these cross guards are acorn. You can tell by the precise accent marks in them. And let's take a look at the blade, and yeah, we got a half decent blade there with the Alles für Deutschland, but then on the main portion, there you go, a full acorn room. A very, very nice piece. It's not mint, but it's pretty darn nice. Everything you want to see. It has the small double oval trademark, like we like to see. Sometimes the cross guards will be stamped on the bottom. No, these aren't, but a lot of times they'll have an inspection mark on them. And when they don't, it's not a big deal, but so that's pretty nice, and I was glad to have that dagger. And let's see what else we got. Yeah, I like this one a lot. This is just a real clean early SA. Hasn't been shined up or anything. Still in its natural state. Beautiful grip. See that high center ridge there, and nickel eagle. Anodizing is good, and the grip's just as nice on the back. Some nice grain, subtle grain in it. Yeah, that's a nice dagger. That one has a group mark of NS. We used to call these gal marks, but we were corrected by some of the researchers that they were really groups, not gals. So take the blade out of this, and oh yeah, there we go. That's really a nice, beautiful Alles für Deutschland full mint blade with all the cross graining, nice dark motto, and then the maker. Yeah, this is one you'll like. We just don't see that mark. Carl Close, isn't that something? On a mint blade. So that ought to be really a desirable dagger for somebody that's looking for a real nice early one with a rare maker. I like that a lot. Can you get that, Ub?
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
I don't think I've seen that one before.
No, that's a pretty rare mark. I looked it up on the McSar scale. You guys know that's a scale that rates essays from 0 to 10, 10 being the rarest, and the close is listed as an 8. But to be honest with you, I think it should be more than that, because it's not something you see. Now this next dagger I really like a lot. Collectors, this dagger is in mint condition. Just look at it. The scabbard anodizing is mint. The grip has the original finish on it with a real crisp center line and a nickel eagle, nickel cross guards, an early short hanger. They just don't come any nicer than that. Look at that beautiful thing. It's really terrific. And then on the reverse of the grip, the original owner put his initials there, FH, and then there's a date of 1938, and then kind of like a cipher of his initials. So you say, well, gee, and there's no grouper mark, and so you say, well, why 1938? You would think an early dagger like this would have been put out earlier than 38. These are kind of what you see in 1935. Look at that hanger too, it's just great. So let's look and see what we got here. Oh, a beautiful, absolute full mint blade, just beautiful. Now let's see who the maker is. What? Look at this maker, collectors. It's got an RZM open circle, and it's marked M7. What is it? 769 ob.
76938.
38. So you say, now wait a minute. What's wrong here? What's going on here? These fittings are real early. And how can this have a 1938 RZM mark in it? Well, if you look this RZM mark up, M769, you won't find it on the list because it was a real small producer. I used to know who it is. Maybe one of you collectors that studies all this stuff can tell me who 69 was. But what's happened here, they were such a small producer that they made a few RZM daggers, and apparently they had the original parts from the early daggers. So they used them up. So this is very unusual and really a terrific dagger. And it's also verified by the fact that the original owner put the date on there. So not only is the dagger in flat out mint condition, it's also very rare for the format that it is. And I don't know whether you guys like that dagger, but I love it. And I'm sorry to say you can't have it because this is one that I'm going to put up in my personal collection. I have a number of essays that I've been stashing for myself, and this one will make a real nice addition to it. So there you go. That deserves a drink. Oh, that's good. And time to smoke a cigar too. So you see, when we're looking at things like this, when you see odd things, don't say, oh, that's not the way they're supposed to be in the book, or that's not what somebody else said that's fake. Think for yourself, and if you can, like with a dagger like this, it's very easy to reason out what happened here. And once you do, you go, wow, this is really cool. So that's why I'm keeping it, and the condition too. So okay, collectors, we'll put these away, and I'll get to the next thing. Okay, collectors, we'll start here on the, got kind of a little package here. Looks like it comes from overseas. Let's see what we got. Maybe we won't need the razor on here. Yeah, it's too sticky for me to get open. Oh, got a letter, that's always good. Oh, we're coming from Australia here. Let's see what's coming from Australia. Before I look, I need one more drink. Get the courage to see what's in here. Oh, man, we've been getting a lot of pull tops lately. Yeah, this is another nice one. This is a political leader pull top. It's all in nickel with the usual painted swastika. I'm looking for an RZM on it, but I don't see an RZM on it. But that's okay though, because the earlier ones didn't have the RZMs, unless I'm missing it here somewhere. No, I don't see it. Well, it's a real example, so that's good. Be nicer if it had an RZM, but we'll live with it. Okay, there we go. Oops. Figures they get all that stuff all over. Doggone it. I knew things were going too well. Let's see what else I want to open here. Well, we'll start with this box. This is a man that's sending in his collection to sell. There's a couple boxes here, so we'll start with the bigger one here. It looks like there might be some swords in here, maybe. We shall see. The mystery of it all. I remember he said he was sending his stuff in, but he never told me what it was, so I don't know anything about it myself, so we'll see. That's just packing. Oh, that might be a dagger. More packing. Oh, I knew there was a sword here someplace. Get half of it out. Here comes the other half. Alright, let's see if there's anything else in here. Probably more packing, but no. See, you got to make sure the box is empty. You never know. Let's see what we have here. Maybe just start with this thing. Well, there's nothing in there. I guess this was wrapped around the sword. All right. Well, we'll look at the sword.
It's one of those
first.
invisible guns I've been hearing
Yeah,
about.
invisible guns. Yeah, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Looks like a decent sword. Oh, a very decent sword. Ah, yes. You guys must know what that is. If you're collecting Field Marshal swords, that's the one. That is the Lutzow pattern, and it's in gilded brass, which really is desirable. And the gilding is really, really good on it. I see that there's a crack in the grip here and a crack in the grip here. And they say, oh, that ruins it. Well, it doesn't really. I have a way of getting these repaired where you won't know that the grip was ever there. The man does a very fine job with it, so I'll...
You mean the crack?
Yeah, the crack, yeah. So I'll... Oh, look at the blade too, yeah. Yeah, that's really a nice Eichhorn sword. And the grip needs to be fixed. And then once it's fixed, then this will be a first-class piece. Not that it isn't already, but see, the problem with these, the same as the Navy grips, the base is carved wood, and the celluloid is put over the wood. You know, it was dipped into it when the celluloid was hot, and then the celluloid dries, and over the years the wood tends to shrink some, so it leaves a space between the celluloid and the wood, and it's such a small thin substance, the celluloid, that all you need is a little cold or hot, or if somebody drops it, or it's a shame that it happens, but we can't just throw a sword away because something like that happened, and thank goodness they can be repaired. It's also worth noting too, the Lutzow, they also have a Wehrmacht eagle on the top pommel like a Prince Eugen. So this is a very, very good sword, and once we get it all fixed up, somebody will be very, very happy to have it in their collection. So I like that a lot. Wish the crack wasn't there, but hey, these things are over 80 years old now, and we have to start looking at problems like that time causes. Yeah. Now let's see what was in here. Wow. Well, collectors, on the surface this looks like a real honey. This is an all nickel, beautiful hilt over steel base with an early checkering. The scabbard paint is terrific on this Hitler Youth knife. A little bit of wear there, but that's okay. And then you can see the letters of this leather maker. They used an oak leaf, and it's LFS are the letters, and it's a brown leather. It's really nice. Well, I guess you're dying to see the blade. I know I am. Not dying, but oh boy, I can't wait to see it though. Well, we hit the jackpot here, guys. Look at that blade. That is just phenomenal. The motto. See, it's the early blade without the ricasso. This Hitler Youth guy really took care of his knife. He wasn't playing chew the peg and throwing it into a tree and sharpening the blade and all that stuff that they do. Well, let's see who made it. Grawiso. We see that once in a while. Early maker. I think they made a few SA daggers too, but not too many. But that blade has all of the grain in it, the original polish. It just is. That's about the best you'll ever see in a Hitler Youth knife. So that's a tremendous thing. We get so few really nice HJ knives, and so I know that there'll probably be 30 people that want this, and I don't know who you sell it to. I don't know, but that is wow. Well, this collector has some nice things. We're starting out with a Lutzow sword and a mint early HJ dagger. That's not such a bad start. Let's see what's in his other box, huh? Yeah. This box is kind of kind of heavy. So there must be some daggers or something that weighs something in it. And lost my box cutter for a second there. Let's see what we got here. Well, we got a letter. That's good. I don't want to read it because I don't want to see what's in here before you guys do. Silly games. Oh, that is too strong. Well, it looks like if we get caught in the snow and run out of gas, we got a blanket here. It's amazing the stuff that gets sent in with the daggers. Lots of bubble wrap. Wow. Yeah, I mean, this looks like a pretty good blanket here. That's a good one to put in the car trunk, maybe. Well, we're looking good here. Let's see what. Get this box out of the way without knocking my drink over, hopefully. All right, let's see what we got here in this grouping of stuff. Guy did a good job packing everything. You know, it doesn't look too hard to get everything out. No, see, it just comes out good, and I can see through the bubble wrap. You're going to like this one. Yes, sir. Oh boy, here we go. Wow, it's an acorn too. Oh, whoops. Taped my glasses. Well, this is as good as it gets. I mean, that is just a beautiful acorn. Government or diplomat. The acorn only made the form with the head looking in both directions, and they used it for both diplomat and government official. I know it's an acorn by the wings and by the scabbard, and beautiful grip plates. Everything is just wow, look at the color in there, just tremendous. Yeah, this is a wow, the top two, the spanner is really in nice shape. Yes, this is a dagger that you'd look all your life for. Oh boy, yeah. And it's a beautiful blade, just what we would hope. Yeah, just tremendous. Yeah, and of course it's an acorn. We knew that already, guys. But boy, what a nice looking piece, huh? See, now something like this. I mean, I know they're expensive. This is a very expensive dagger. But just look how glorious the acorn is with the way the wingtips go way up in the air. And the large wreath on the eagle, and the grip plates are so beautiful. The scabbard's absolutely perfect, and it just has a nice tone to all the silvering, but yet it's not overly cleaned, and there's still you can still see some lacquer up in here. I mean, this is a dagger you could look at all day, and it'll make you feel good. It's just tremendous. They don't get any better than that. I probably showed you the best first, but that's the way it is. I don't know what's in here, but let's see what we got here. Well, I got a beautiful set of navel hangers here. Wow, they're really choice, really nice condition. And it's interesting, one of the randels from the belt is there. So let's see whether the dagger comes up to the condition of the hangers, because those hangers are just about mint. Just show a little tiny bit of wear. Sometimes hanger buckles will be marked. Let's see whether... No, these aren't marked. But they have a neat swirl in the back of them. See, that swirl, you don't usually see that. And it's in both, see it in the other hanger too, so you know you have a matching pair there. I like to see stuff like that. And let's see what the dagger looks like that's with it. Well, from what I've seen so far, this man has some pretty good taste.
These are marked, guys. Show those off.
Oh, I'll be darned, yeah. Yeah, I don't know whether to have it upside down or what, but there you go. That's, the roundels are marked. They're both the same markings on them. So that's kind of neat. Wow. You guys are going to like this dagger. I know I do.
Yeah, they're dated too.
They're dated? 41, yeah. Wow, look at this dagger. That's a collector's dream. Just a beautiful orange grip, hammered scabbard in perfect condition, no dents. And this is a changeover pommel from 1938. This dagger would have originally had a ball pommel. You can tell the changeovers because the way the wings are so recessed and how the wreath juts way out. And then it's got a terrific silver bullion knot that's turned gold over the years, and it's got the cat's ass stuffing there. Anus, excuse me. Beautiful grip though. Wow, that grip is tremendous. Let's see, this, I don't know, this will probably be a WKC because I noticed the eyelets also have oak leaf engraving on them. That was a thing that WKC liked to do, but could be another maker too, but let's see. No, it's a WKC. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it's got the sailing ship blade, which is again a good way to know that it did have a bull pommel on it at one time, because the sailing ship blade is mostly before 1938 time. And another way you can tell that it's an early dagger, you'll notice that the release button is not the notched kind, but it's inset into the center. So this is about as it's about as good as you get if you're looking for primo pieces. This is really desirable. Just beautiful. Wow. Well, this man knew what he was doing here. This guy was no amateur when it came to choosing the right pieces. See, this is what I keep saying. If you really look for the best, you know, they're expensive, and I'm sure these were expensive at the time he bought them, but maybe if he's had them for 20 or 30 or 40 years, they're nowhere near as expensive as they are today. So how can they not be a good investment? You're not spending money, really. You're putting money in the bank for the time when you may be able to use it for retirement or whatever. See, we have another Navy dagger. This is very nice. Look at that original aluminum knot. It's a little frayed, but it's original to the piece. And yep, it's got that naval cat's anus stuffing in the back, and good quality brass mounts, lightning bolt scabbard. I guess he wanted to have one of each, you know, the the hammered and the lightning bolt. And the reverse is nice. One tiny little ding there, but that's nothing. We can take that out. That's easy. And let's see what the blade looks like. Ah, yes. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Perfect. Full mint. Nice fouled anchor blade. And this one is also a WKC. Very, very nice dagger.
Why don't you show the differences in the pommels?
Maybe I can with these two daggers. Yeah, that collectors might like to see that. This pommel on the right is a standard WKC pommel. Now, if you look at the 38 replacement pommel, remember this dagger had a ball top on it because it was a 1929 model, and naval officers were told to replace their pommel in 1938 with the new Eagle. The Navy was pretty late with coming out with the Eagle, but if you look at that pommel, you can see vast differences, and look how the wreath juts way out, and look how deep the recesses are in the wings, and look at the quality head and the sculpturing in the breast feathering. Let's see if there's any big differences in the reverse. Well, again, it just it's the same pretty much, but it just seems more higher quality the way it's done. So, you know, these were all, they probably made I don't know, 20 or 30,000 of them, but they went through a lot of trouble to make them. Well,
Sure,
they couldn't have made that many, I don't think. But
the feathering goes all the way up around here, and the other one doesn't, if you notice.
the feathering, oh yeah, good point, Ob. See how the feathering kind of fades out here, and look at the detail on the upgrade. It's just cool stuff. If you like to study these things, that was a good idea, Ob, to compare those two.
Oh, that's what I'm here for. Good idea.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah. The old man can't think of everything. I know all this stuff, and I think everybody else does. But Rob's right. You know, it's good to really point it out. And I think that's a good little lesson that you can remember. Well, let's see what's next. Like I say, this guy had very good taste. So I don't think we're going to see any subpar daggers here. Well, we got a set of straps here. These are the early brass straps. You don't see them too often. These fittings, the hardware is all solid brass. And they only made those early on, and they stopped making it to save money. And you don't see them very often. And let's see what the dagger looks like. Oh yeah, here we go. This is another Eichhorn piece, but it's got the real early crossguard, the first crossguard that they made, and the nice scabbard. Oh, it's got some a personalization WW on the crossguard. So that's neat to see. Nice grip, beautiful knot. Alright, this is really cool. Look at the blade. I mean, the blade is absolutely mint. And what's really cool, when you turn the blade over and look at the trademark, if you can see that trademark, guys, that is the early 33-35 trademark. So this was an initial production dagger. See that it's the small double oval, and it's quite rare to see that on an army dagger. And this collector is so astute that he has the real early hangers with it too. Maybe they came with it, I don't know, but if they didn't, he knew enough to find them, because that's a perfect mate with the dagger. this is really, really a terrific Eichhorn piece. You know, there's a lot of Eichhorns, a lot of Eichhorn armies, but very few like that. Absolute initial production. A really neat thing. I like that a lot. Let's see, boy, do we have any more here? Oh, it looks like we got one other army dagger. Let's see what this is. Isn't it nice to see really great things like this? Boy, really terrific. If you're a dagger collector, for you guys that don't collect daggers, I'm sorry, but that's kind of my main thing, and I just love this stuff. I still get excited after all these years. Wow. Now this is an exciting thing too. It's another Eichhorn dagger, but this has the later crossguard. And maybe like Ob said before with the Navy, we can show you the differences. You see the early crossguard, they spent a lot of money with having to hand checker the breast feathering and the oak leaves in the wreath and so forth. That cost a lot of money. Whereas on the later piece, I mean, it's just the crossguard is really nice also, but the casting was much bolder where they could do this and get the detail without having to do all that handwork. So that saved a lot of money. And the same is true with the scabbard bands. If you look at the early scabbard bands, they almost have a convex look to them, whereas the later ones are much straighter and easier to cast. Also, see on the earlier bands, they had to hand engrave those veins on the oak leaves. So all that meant for more work, more labor, more cost. So even though this dagger is magnificent, the second type, it still was a little cheaper to make. Let's see what the blade looks like. Oh, of course, with this man, nothing but mint here. Very, very nice. Beautiful, beautiful blade. And this will have the later Eichhorn trademark. Yeah, it does. I'll show you something else I think I can... No, not on that one I can't, but... on the real early, or pieces even earlier than this one, the throat will be retained by 2 screws, and then they went to the 1 screw later, which both of these have. So, but sometimes you'll see side screws on the real early pieces. All right, we're moving along here, and this is some stuff that I bought in a mail auction. By the time you submit your bids, they have the auction, and then all the payment that goes on, and it's a couple of months before you get your stuff. And in the meantime, I forget what the heck I even bought. So we'll see here what this is. I hope it's something decent. I don't know. We'll see. Well, I see something I don't like right here. We got some popcorn. I hate that stuff. And I guess this is a letter of what's in there. It says check enclosed. I wonder, he's giving me a refund. What's that mean? Maybe I didn't get what I thought I got? Let's see what we got here. This popcorn is going to make a mess, I'm afraid. I need a drink before I start that. I made that one too strong too. Let's see what we got here. hope you guys are all right with this. I know we're going on again, a little long, but I'm doing the best I can. You probably got to eat dinner or something, or go to bed. Oh well, here we go. Just a standard second model Luftwaffe, but not a bad dagger at all. You know, this is a really nice entry-level piece. When they have the white grips like this, they're wartime pieces made for the pilots. But it looks pretty nice. Yeah, it's got a good blade on it. It's a holler. So that's a good standard dagger. Not a lot of money, and you buy something like that, and you can look at it, study it a little bit, and get to know the quality of the German products. So that's a good thing. Let's see what else is in this mess here. You know, with these auctions, you know, these companies, they put the stuff up on the internet, and you mail in your bid, and you kind of hope when you get the item that what you paid for is what you thought you saw in the picture. So you never really know with auctions, but you know, the things are available, and it's hard to get stuff today, so I like to participate in them wherever I can. You know, we gotta have a lot of stuff, because a lot of things go through here in a year. You know, I was looking at my inventory numbers, and we use an inventory number. We started at 1 back in the 80s, and we're up to 46,700, isn't it, Ob? Something like that?
Around there, yeah.
So that's the amount of things that we've sold over these, since 1981 or so. That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff when you think about it. Wow. Imagine that. 47,000 different things.
It's actually 57,000 because you started over when you hit 10 the first time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I started over when I hit 10. Yeah, it's 50,000 something. Yeah, that is true. Ah, this is kind of nice. Wow. This is a Polish piece. Got beautiful grip plates on it. They look like they're ivory. I'll have to check them and see, but that's nice. It's got the Polish eagle on the top, and let's see what the blade looks like. Yeah, it's numbered and in good condition. Yeah, I like that piece.
That's a good piece.
Yeah, it's a nice piece. I'll have to look it up. I think it's wartime, but I'll have to look. But that's good. I like that. It's in nice condition. I like the grip plates and the nice insignia on it and all. Oh, more popcorn all over the place. I guess I'm going to have to face getting this sword out if there's going to be a problem. It looks like a sword. Yeah. Let's see what this is. I wonder if there's anything more in here. Yeah, there's a couple other things in here too. Okay, well, we'll press on. Sorry to take your time up with this. A lot of tape on this bubble stuff here. popcorn. The trick is to find the seam if you can find it. Here we go, this might be it. Yeah, I think we got it here. Yeah, here we go. I hope all this suspense produces something that's worthwhile. We shall see here. Well, we got a scabbard so far for our work. And see if the hilt comes a little easier. Yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about this. Yeah. Oh yeah, I like this. Yeah, this is. Let me just check it. I think it's a WKC. Yeah. Yeah, this collector's. This is a nice sword. It's a dove head, but if you look closely, you can see that the Wehrmacht eagle was added to it. In other words, it was put in with pins on the reverse. And that's because this sword is real early and Solican hadn't geared up yet for the new symbol. And they had this sword in production where they probably used artillery cannons or cross swords for orders. So instead of doing that, they made the Wehrmacht style eagle and pinned that on there. So these are hard to find, and guys that collect swords like these things a lot. Let's see if the blade's decent. Yeah, it's a good blade. It's got the WKC knight head on it. Let's see if it has the. I can't really see, but some of these won't have the initials on the bottom because they're so early. But we'll study that. But that's a good sword, and for people that collect sword types, I'd like to collect razor cutter types because I can't find my razor cutter here. I wanted to take this off of here entirely, but for people that collect sword types, this is one that you'll look a long time to find. So I like that. That's good. That was worthwhile. Okay, we have one more dagger in here, and Robbie had said, didn't we bid on a porcelain World War I porcelain flyer? And I said, yeah, we did. And we looked through the box, and I see there's a check here from the auction company for a refund. And then with it, there's a little letter about how they dropped the porcelain when they were packing it. So that's the end of our World War I porcelain. It was a nice thing with a soldier holding a propeller, and well, what are you going to do? It's a shame. Here's something that well over 100 years old, and it just carelessly somebody dropped it. I mean, we've had that happen here too. We dropped one of those pointed AH wine glasses that are $1,300 and smashed it into smithereens. Remember that, Ob?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Usually it happens during shipping, though. It's not dropping. It's usually the shipping that
Yeah,
gets it.
but
a shame, but-
if you handle a lot of merchandise, I mean, just things happen. But well, let's see what this last dagger is, and I guess we're not going to get our porcelain, that's for sure. So, what are you going to do? Well, let's see what we got here. It was nice of the guy to apologize to us that he dropped it anyhow. It's better than him saying, well, we just didn't have that piece, or somebody else bought it, or something. At
Or he
least
just threw the broken one in a box and said, oh, must have broke during shipping.
I hope the guy that owns the auction didn't fire him. Boy, all right, see, oh, this is cool. Yeah, I remember I ordered a bid on this. Yeah. Yeah, we've seen a few RLBs in the last unboxings, but this one's really particularly nice. It's a second model RLB officer, and look at all the silvering still on the sunburst behind the enamel, and the enamel's all there. It's got the aluminum hilt mounts, which are the later type, and the scabbard leather and the grip leather. I mean, it's perfect. Little bump there, but no leather missing. No, that's a nice dagger. Let's see if it holds up. Oh yeah, yeah, the inside holds up well too. Look at that blade. Yeah, it's an Ernst Witte. Those are the ones that you usually see with the aluminum top. So there you are. We're going to end this video, but I want to tell you we're going to make another unboxing tomorrow. We have a huge amount of really interesting consignments that just came in, and we think there's enough items there to take up the whole video, so we'll do that tomorrow, and you can just get a hint of it from some of this stuff you may have seen on the side here. But there's some really I'll explain what all this is. That guy looks like he's dead. Oh, he is. It's a death mask, but I'll explain all this tomorrow. And I hope you enjoyed this unboxing. There was some pretty cool things in there, especially if you're a dagger collector. So we'll see you tomorrow, probably. Thanks a lot.